Hello, welcome to my chair-based exercise routine. We're going to warm up in a minute, but just a reminder to know your limitations. You know your body better than anyone else, so please don't do anything that doesn't feel right. You can always leave certain exercises out. And also I encourage you to pause the video so you can do as many reps of an bit of the routine as you wish. Okay, so before we do any exercise, we want to warm up the joints so that we promote fluid into the joints, our natural lubrication. Okay, so I start from the head to the ankles. So I might start with a nice tall spine, looking over one shoulder, back to center, over to the other side. And then I might just do that a couple more times each way. And I'm concentrating on drawing my shoulders away from the ears and growing that spine nice and tall. Then I'm going to bring it to the shoulders. So just a few rotations in one direction and then the other way. You could get bigger with these and turn them into big arm circles if you have the room. Then we're going to concentrate on the middle part of the body. So little twists, okay, over to one side, just pausing for a moment. Take the shoulders round and the gaze, okay, hips and bottom stay firmly on the chair, okay. View one way, same on the other side. And then some little lateral dips, okay, with the arms. Yeah, if your chair doesn't allow you to do this, this is one you can certainly get up and stand up and do exactly the same thing. Lovely. And then to warm up hips and knees, we're going to just march the legs. And this is an exercise you could do even just watching TV. Bring the arms in. And again, it's one you can do standing up. And you're going to feel your heart rate go up. Okay, so we're not just benefiting from moving the body, but we're also benefiting from getting the heart rate up a little. Okay, and finally, just some ankle circles, again, a few in one direction and the other on both sides. Okay, so we're nearly ready to go. So I'm going to break down the exercises into upper body and lower body. And for the upper body exercise, it would be great to have a band, okay, although we'll talk through some alternatives. So our first exercise is a front pull down, okay? I'm going to just move my chair back a little bit so you can see me a bit clearer. So take the band overhead. It's an overhand grip, like a bike grip. We want it to start to be about shoulder width apart with the hands, palms facing forward. We're going to bring the hands apart, so we're getting some tension on the band. If you don't feel any, it may be because you've started with the hands too far apart. Okay, so bring them in a bit. Pull the band apart and then keep the band close to the face as we pull it down. The elbows stay nice and wide until we get to the bottom and then they come in. And then we reverse it back out. You're kind of drawing an egg shape with the hands, yeah? So we're kind of creating that egg shape wide here and then it comes in narrow here at the bottom and then out again and in again at the top. Okay, if I do it from side on, you'll see my back's nice and straight. I'm pulling in the tummy and I'm keeping that band close to the face as we pull down. And we want to do about 10 to 15 repetitions of these, okay? We are working the bicep and the triceps, that's the upper arm, the front and back of the arm. And we're also working into our shoulders. So I want you to feel a bit of a squeeze as we draw the elbows down into the sides of the body. Okay, second exercise, shoulder rotation. So for this one, again, we start with an overhand grip, but flip the thumbs on top. Draw the elbows into the side of the body. It's quite a narrow grip, this one, and we want our arms at right angles, okay, throughout. And then all we're doing is taking the hands apart, the forearms are moving away from the body, but the elbows are not. Keep the shoulders nice and relaxed. Again, we're aiming to do about 10 to 15 of these, okay? Really good for our rotator cuff muscles, and those are what basically works the front and the back of the shoulder to give it this rotation, okay? Lovely. Our next exercise for our arms is going to be a chest press. So we're going to bring the band underneath the armpits for this one. Thumbs on top, yeah, so you're taking a grip with the palms facing in, elbows stay tucked in again. And for this one, all we're doing is pushing out and drawing the elbows in. The elbows are brushing the sides of the body. Let me show you from this way, okay? Out and in, great stuff. And again, we're looking to get 10 or 15 or something in between of these. You could also time yourself and say, do 30 seconds, okay? We are using our arms again in this exercise, but we're also engaging the chest, and you might feel that when you've fully extended the arms. Lovely. Okay, so last couple here. Now, if you are able to stand, I would recommend standing for these last two exercises, just because it's a little easier. The first one, place the foot on the band. Have the feet slightly apart, like they're on train tracks rather than on a tightrope. And then holding both ends of the band here, all we're doing is taking our arms straight back, okay? Have a little squeeze in that back position before releasing, nice and slowly. Okay, again, we're looking at 10 to 15 of these, working the back of the upper arm, the triceps, okay? Let me show you the alternative. If you need to stay sitting down, that's fine. Take a little narrow overhand grip of the band and bring it over to one side. This front hand is basically just sort of keeping the band in place. The back arm is going straight back. So you can see it's not got a bend. I haven't got a bend in the elbow. I'm just taking that arm straight back. Now, the only disadvantage of this is, of course, you have to do both sides. So it takes a bit longer, but certainly still just as effective. And again, if you feel you haven't got enough tension on the band, start with the hands closer together. Okay, and then you would do the other side again, 10 and 15. Okay, last one in terms of the upper body. If you can stand, you can do this with one foot on the band, but the seated version is very similar. Let me show you the standing first. Tuck the elbows into the sides of the body. The thumbs are on top, the palms are facing towards the thighs. And then again, we're taking thumbs to shoulders in this one for a bicep curl. We're doing both arms at the same time, even in the seated version. The seated version, I would get you to put both feet on the bands, sitting nice and tall, elbows tucked in, thumbs to shoulders. Okay, so looking at least another 10, maybe 15. You might be able to do a few more with these, but remember to certainly build up slowly with any of these exercises. Now, you could do those upper body exercises just as a little workout. There's 5 different exercises. It may take you about 5 minutes to do. You could build up to doing all of them twice, which would be really lovely, because 2 sets is a really effective way to work out our muscles. So perhaps one evening you might like to do an upper body workout, and then the next evening or a couple of days later, you might focus on the lower body, which we'll do in a moment. If you have just done the upper body, you might like to stretch the upper body. So let me show you a few stretches. Bringing the arm across, so the upper arm comes across the chest, and we're using our opposite hand just to pull that in. Okay, lovely. That same arm then, we may stretch over the head. This may be enough. This might be quite challenging to get our arm alongside our ear to keep the spine nice and straight, tummy in. If not, you might want to stretch a bit further. Bring the hand between the shoulder blades or the nape of the neck, yeah, top of the shoulder blades or nape of the neck. And that might be enough. Or you may like to give it a gentle push. If we do this, we want to make sure that our chin is parallel to the floor. Yeah, lovely. Let's do the other side briefly. Draw the arm in. And you can stay in these stretches for as long as feels nice, but I would suggest in your own time, about 30 seconds. That might seem a bit long, so try 10, 15 to start with. Then reaching the arm up alongside the ear, you can stay there, or you might like to take it just to the nape of the neck, the hand to the nape of the neck, keep the chin parallel to the floor, and that gentle push, lovely. And then bring the hands together in front of you. Nice big chest stretch here. Lovely, a few nice breaths. Very good. And then of course you might feel like you want to do some shoulder rolls or just loosen up the neck, maybe doing another little neck exercise. Take the chin down, look up, and then maybe back into chest again and back to center. Okay, so let me show you the lower body exercises. So my first is my favorite, which is the sit to stand. Okay, if you or someone you live with struggles to get out of a chair, then you could start them off by asking them to simply use their hands on either side of the chair and shift their weight onto their legs. Let me show you from this side. Okay, so holding onto the chair, just shifting the weight on as much as you can onto our feet, onto the floor, and then sitting down. Now, hopefully, you might be able to progress from there, or you are already able to stand up from a chair, either using the chair to assist you, pushing up and out, or you may feel comfortable having the arms out in front and can stand and sit. Okay, it's as simple as that. If you need to widen the feet a little bit, so you've got a wider base, then please do. Sitting and standing for 10 or 15. This is a brilliant thing to do while the kettle's boiling in the morning, yeah? Just spend a couple of minutes doing some of these sit to stands. If you want to make this harder, stand and then go to sit down on your chair or stool, but don't put the weight down, standing back up. Sitting, but not putting all the weight down, just touching that chair and standing back up. So it's more like a stand to sit. We're mimicking a squat, okay? That is harder and will get you more breathless, okay? But again, if you can do 10, 15, maybe even work out to sort of 20 or so, that would be wonderful. It keeps our legs brilliantly strong and will help to prevent falling. Okay, next one is opening up the legs to work the outer hips. If you had a spare band, you could tie a knot in this so that it fits your thighs, okay? But for today, I'm just going to wrap this band around my legs. And you can have the feet as close as you like here, whatever's comfortable. All I'm going to do is take the knees apart, okay, and back together. I tend to come up on the balls of my feet because my legs are quite short, yeah, but you can keep the feet flat, yeah, that can sometimes be a bit harder and you might need to come onto the sides of the feet, okay, or otherwise, as I say, come up onto the balls of the feet, and as long as you can feel this band adding some tension, that's great. Another way of doing this is to hold on to a windowsill or the back of a chair and do some side leg extensions, okay? So keep the upper body nice and upright and just slowly inhale, lift the leg, exhale, lower, okay? The foot is flexed, i.e. it's bent at the ankle, and you'll really feel this in the outer part of the hip of the one that you're working. And because we don't use our legs in this way very much, yeah, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Make sure you do the same number on the other side again, maybe 10 or 15, or time yourself 30 seconds on each side. But do try and do an equal number, even if that means going over on the time just a little bit. Okay, fantastic. Another exercise for our legs, the leg press. So you can do this with or without a band, okay, but I'll show you with the band. Popping the band underneath the ball of the foot here, walk the hands down, relax the shoulders, and the action is pulling the knee into the chest and then pushing the foot away. Okay, let me show you from a side position. It's like you've got a heavy cardboard box on the floor and you're sort of shoving it away from you. Okay, it's a nice, strong feeling pushing against the band. Yeah, we'll do 10, 15 on one leg and then switching sides. And remember, you can get these bands in different tensions. Okay, so you might find with your legs they're a bit stronger and you might like something a little heavier. Okay, you can buy them in packs of 4 inexpensively for under £10 usually. And then you can play around with that correct strength for you. Okay, well done, guys. So 10 to 15 on each side. Again, keep the back nice and straight for those. And then finally, don't need the band for this one. We are going to do some calf raises. So if you're able to stand, hold on to something, we're going to lift up onto the balls of the feet and coming back down, okay? From the side here, up onto the balls of the feet and back down, okay? If you become very competent at this, then you might be able to do one leg at a time, okay? Maybe even letting go and testing your balance, okay? Again, make sure you do the same number on the other side if you do that. But you can also do them sitting down, okay? Lifting up the heels and taking the legs down. And again, a really good exercise just to keep the legs moving. Okay, so that's 4 exercises on the lower body. So if you were working the lower body, you just need to stretch the lower body briefly after your workout. My first suggestion is a hamstring stretch. So I'll show you from the side, extending one leg. I have to come to the front of my stool here. We're going to place our hands on our bent supporting leg. Big breath in. And then as we exhale, just leaning into that stretch. Let me show you from this angle as well. Big breath in, forward folding. Never go into a stretch full force, okay? Always ease into it with the breath as you exhale, okay? Holding it in your own time for somewhere between 20, 30 seconds, or as long as you enjoy. And you can keep gently pushing a little bit into it to get that maximum stretch. And then we go on to the other side. So on the tip of the heel, and then again, big breath in, exhaling forward. Lovely. Great. We might also do a calf stretch. So we would have to stand for this one, leaning into a wall or onto the back of the chair. We have the front leg bent this time and that back leg straight. Okay, so different from our hamstring stretch, which looks more like that. Okay, pushing in to something just to give ourselves a little bit of resistance to work with. Again, breathing deeply. Leaning into it a little bit, but again, just be gentle, and then we would switch sides. Okay, very nice. And then finally, if you're able to stand, we would maybe try and take the foot in towards the bottom. That might seem too much. And if that is, then you could use your chair. Again, hold on to something to place the leg on, so you can have a stretch here. For those of you happy to get down onto the floor, you might like to take a stretch in this position, from a lunge position, leaning into it. And again, getting this nice stretch down the hip and the thigh. Okay, so just giving you guys some suggestions there. If you want to, you could do that whole routine if you've got the time, say 3 times a week. But I really encourage you even just to pick one exercise a day and to have a go. But do remember to warm up the body first and do have a little stretch of the area that you have worked on. Enjoy and feel free to contact me if you have any questions at all. Thank you.